Oh, reminds you of Boy Scouts. Anyway.
Fucking burn, you big fucking cunt. Fucking hell. Fucking hell. Hey, fuck the system, innit? Revolution. Fucking revolution.
My name is Lewis Mitchell. I'm a filmmaker. I used to be an anarchist.
The next station is Westminster. Change for the Jubilee line.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform.
I'm on my way to the annual Million Mask March in London, an event that I participated in for many years. In 2016, I began making a documentary about the Million Mask March. This was around the time that I began seeing anarchy from a different perspective. Something had changed. This once peaceful march had become flooded with thousands of angry young anarchists and groups with ideologies that go against the ethics of what is meant to be a peaceful protest. I'm here today to return to a movement that I no longer recognise.
So I'm here at the Million Mask March. It's the 5th of November 2018, Trafalgar Square in London. And for the last 5 years, this is the place where people have gathered to start the march, where they start making their way through to Downing Street. But, I mean, so far, it's not looking good. So far there's about 250 people here, I think, maximum. Last year it was less than 1,000, the year before that it was around 3,000, the year before that it was 6,000, so I don't know what's going on, but the numbers are certainly declining.
We need to rally for something, not just against something. Tell you what, who was here a few years ago when there was a lot of violence at this event? So, put your hand up. How many of you actually agreed with that violence? No, I don't think anyone actually agrees with the idea of being violent. The reason why violence occurred is because the dominant energy of that event was being against something. When you're marching against something, it's a massive angry energy. You're appealing to the government saying, no, these are our streets. And that's quite, that's not the kind of direction we need to be going. But if you're marching for something, whatever that may be, whatever you love, whatever you're appreciative for, whatever you want for the world, imagine what kind of energy that kind of march will have.
Despite our efforts, nobody was willing to talk to us on camera. Except for one. Ray is an old school anarchist.
Why are you here today? What's your purpose for being here?
Well, it's a demonstration against fascism, really. World fascism, not just British or police. So that's why I'm here. This is a front line where the police are the front line of the fascist state, so you're facing them one-to-one. And also you're with your own kind, which doesn't happen very often on demonstration.
How long have you been coming here for?
How long's it been going?
2014, I think it began.
Well, yeah.
So you've been coming since the
From
beginning?
First time, yeah.
Okay, and have your motivations always been the same?
It's been the same since I was about 12. I went into communism. Oh, hello mate, good luck. Nice.
And your sign here,
Yeah.
when they circumcised Trump, they threw away the wrong bit.
Yeah.
I need Trump like I need a toxic skid mark.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It just means it all comes back to fascism. He's a fascist bastard, so naturally everything's targeted him. As it's the most powerful country on earth, and he's showing what America's really like now. You know, the way they dominate the world, the way they assassinate, they destroy countries at will.
Are you an anarchist?
Yes, yeah, for 60 years.
What does anarchy mean to you?
Well, what the actual word means is no ruler. So it means that literally no ruler, i.e. the Queen, the monarchy, the banks, the police. We can control ourselves, develop ourselves, say what is right, what is wrong. We can do it all ourselves. We don't need the banks, we don't need the multinational companies. We don't need the monarchy. These are all parasites that's divided the earth into nation states. And they just use fear as a weapon to extract wealth from those that produce it to those that consume it.
So what's your end goal? What do you want to achieve from this and other demonstrations?
I want to go to bed.
I think everyone does after 9 o'clock, yeah.
Yeah, well, there's no end goal in that sense, because basically you're not going to do anything. They won't let you.
So what do you think the point of being here is if it's not going to achieve anything?
It's personal development, and hopefully you might persuade others to come on the streets. But as I say, I've been doing this for a long time. Nothing has changed. It's probably got worse if it's possible to get worse. But also it's to strengthen your own resolve to do right. So you're reminding yourself the reasons why you're alive. So that's why you demonstrate, you say no.
And why do you think the numbers have declined every year for the last 3 years at least?
They're all in prison. I don't know. I mean, I don't know, 30, 40 years ago you would have 1,000 or 10,000 on the streets all the time. But the schools, the education, the computers, the phones, has just dumbed people down even more than they were. So that people are just zombies now. These are my enemies, apart from anarchists. Because you try to get them on the streets and they just won't go, they just won't come, they won't demonstrate. That's why the world's in its state, because the people won't act. They're in a dreamland, they're just goose-stepping into fascism.
Are you anti-capitalism?
Yes.
What would you think is a better system than capitalism?
Well, anarchy. Anarchy is a better system.
Well, ongoing anarchy forever? Does it ever come to an end?
No. As Lenin's, I know Lenin's not an anarchist, but as he said, you've got to have revolution permanently, because you've got to keep your eye on the capitalists, you've got to keep your eye on the fascists, because there'll always be those people that will exploit.
It was good to see Ray continuing to stand for what he believes in. But despite the small amount of older marchers attending, the gathering appears to be overthrown by angry young people who seem to be more concerned with taking selfies than with expressing their concerns and ideologies.
As you can see behind me, they've actually fenced off the centre of Trafalgar Square, because every year you have protesters climbing on it, setting off fireworks. There's quite a few injuries, lots of arrests happen at this exact spot. And, well, I don't know if it's Scotland Yard or the Metropolitan Police, but they've certainly taken precautions this year.
On this very spot in 2016, I was nearly hit with a firework.
So much.
Yeah.
Nice, mate.
Just on that.
Afterwards, I'll write down why you're being searched. The section 60 and the 60 AA has been authorised by Commander Harrington. Just keep your hands away from your side, out of your pockets. That's what I meant. Keep your hands out of your pockets. So you have anything. Have you got? Sorry? No. Just here. Alright, you got anything on you you shouldn't have? No? Alright, okay. I'll pass this to my colleague. Alright. What's you here for? Have a chat. You want to talk to any of you? Is that the identification, sir? Have you got any ID on you? We believe that people in the crowd
What are you being searched for, man?
What? I think they think I've got weapons.
Is it everyone that's been up there in general?
Yeah.
Basically, it's section 16. I don't know down the floor.
Yeah, that's fine.
Authorised for this area between the hours of 6 and 9 under Commander Harrington. What's in there? Basically, it's in view of anticipated violence.
Okay, so if you see someone you think
basically,
you have
it gives us the
reason
power.
to believe.
Gives us the power. We don't need grounds. All we need is the power to stop and search anyone we choose within that area.
Right,
between those times.
Okay.
Okay. I'll give you a copy of the search after. I know who this guy is.
Who's it?
131. Off the road! Move people off the road! Move back, please! Let's move along. Move back, please! Move back, please! Come along. Be good chaps. Most of you are people have got jobs to do. People need to get places. Let's let them do that. That's all, isn't it? Come on, here, good chap. No, I can't. We can't understand you, mate. Take your mask off. I don't know how to cross the road. We can't understand what you're saying, mate. You should have put us on speed limit and cross the road. That's what I'm saying.
What he's saying is like we should be allowed to cross the road if we want to.
Yeah, you can. You can. No problem with that.
He didn't. He sat down in the road, contravening section 147 of the Road Traffic Act. Look it up and you'll understand why we did what we did. I'm peaceful. Okay, well, you can talk to him then. You seem to be his mouthpiece, so you can tell him that, alright?
All I can do is
We're allowed to cross the road if we want to.
Don't join them. Get out of the road. Get out the road. Get out the road.
Can you try and get your photos from on the pavement, please, madam?
Get out of the road. Very simple. Very simple.
We asked you to do that. I know you're on the pavement. That's what we've asked you to do.
Or you get arrested.
Still can't understand.
He just went to
By the way, how do you feel about climate change?
I don't know a lot about it.
Down that way.
They're not allowed to have
I think it's fairly anti-capitalist.
No, it's not. It's side by side, like more.
Democracy. This is a democratic country, you know.
Democratic, yeah, the thing is, everyone's democratic as time goes on. I've got
any collective that comes together, they Who's street? All street! 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 All street!
It's just, I suppose, process develops, isn't it? You know?
Yeah. Would any of you two be willing to be interviewed?
I'm not, but...
Are you not? Are you willing to?
No, we're not allowed to. You have to go to the press line.
Really?
We're not allowed to.
That's fair
So is that
enough.
no one around here is allowed to be at all?
Well, you can ask people, but there's that's all I'm going to say.
Are the police allowed to do so if they're willing to?
Yeah, if people want to talk to you. I mean, ultimately, you know, we're here just to make sure this is safe. And at the minute, it is extremely safe because there's not many of them.
I assume you're probably happy you're in for a quiet night, aren't you?
Well, let's hope, you know, it'd be nice.
Yeah, this is the smallest I've ever seen it. This is what happened.
Have you been up there to have a look?
Yeah,
we should be stood up
It's
there.
like, wow, where are they?
Yeah. There's just a few people having drinks up there. I know there are a few masks up there, but there's not. I wouldn't have thought more than.
I think the guy who's in the all white with the flashing mask, he's the leader of it now. He's turned up late.
Really?
What with the?
He's got like a officer in a gentleman's suit on.
He's the leader now. They have a leader? Oh, right. I thought the whole point of Anonymous was no leaders. I thought that was the whole point.
He's the one that's trying to.
Oh, him with the hat on there now.
The one that's got the officer in a gentleman outfit.
Oh, right.
So
just like that.
there's two of them, him and someone else.
Oh, right. Okay. So I've just spoken with a police officer who wasn't willing to do an interview on camera, but he's just told me that the numbers this year so far is an absolute maximum of around 100 and 150. So that's like 9 times less than the numbers of last year. This is crazy. I don't know what's happened. It's crazy. I mean, the numbers have completely dropped. I'm looking around. I mean, you can look around me now. Last year this was full. The year before that you could barely move. Up there's hardly anyone. So it doesn't even look like it's going to be a march tonight. It looks like more of a gathering.
Let's go, everybody!
As we leave Trafalgar Square, I begin to remember the times I would march alongside these people as one of them.
Who's got that board? What's it about? I don't care.
Someone's trying to get somewhere, stop being so inconsiderate.
The first stop is Downing Street.
Okay, we're now descending to Downing Street. We're making our way through London. So far we've seen people spitting at cars and screaming the infamous "Whose streets? Our streets."
Symptom of an overarching socio-economic system that mathematically guarantees us all to stay where we are. If we need things to change, we want things to change for the better, we need to change the system itself. We need to allow the system to evolve and for us to innovate our way out of these problems.
For justice, for pay, for equality!
Now I know there will be some of you naughty lot that will want to maybe get violent, but I urge everyone here, do not get violent. Be non-violent. Violence, while it may appear to have an impact, it actually pushes us backwards. So please, be non-violent. Just a little public service announcement. While the revolution may be a solution, what happens after that revolution? What kind of world would you like to create after you've brought down this current system?
So Lewis, what do you think about them chanting our street walking past here?
You know, I used to chant that myself, and when I look back I really don't know what I meant by it when I was saying it.
This is our street! This is our street! It belongs to us! This street belongs to us!
Where were you listening for?
They want everyone to do what we just did and run over and fucking arrest fucking everyone.
We've got Parliament Constitution.
Something happened. We've all got
I hope you're listening, Miss May. You're going to get butt fucked by Trump and face fucked by Putin. I ain't fucking screaming that out, mate. No.
They are lying to you, they are lying to me.
All your cats, all your police cops. Remove it. Right, we're all going now, people. Let's go, let's go.
Okay, we're descending forward. Moving to Westminster way, I believe.
If we think the idea that a few people managing over everyone else is acceptable, why does people think the idea of people governing themselves seem unacceptable? I thought there were multiple solutions to our socio-economic problems. How many of those solutions are people here advocating? Or does everyone just advocate revolution as the solution?
I don't consent to acts and legislation written by Parliament for Parliament. Thank you very much anyway.
They're going to kill you! You're going to put the kettle on? Can we have tea, 2 sugars please?
I realise that this is a time when tensions are high, anger is high, emotions are all high, and some people, I dare say in the crowd, are just high. For those of you who actually want to have a nice protest, be nice, okay? There is no need whatsoever in getting violent. The police are here not to be your enemies, but to keep you in line like little slaves that you are. No, but seriously, they're not the enemy. They're just doing their jobs, alright? Stop
just makes more of war, right? It just makes war more powerful.
Navy submarine service. 4 years I served in my country, and I was fed up with them asking for black oil all the time. Black oil.
Oh, peace, love and life! Peace, love and life!
Think about what you're marching for instead of what you're marching against. Remember what I said to you guys earlier? If you're marching against something, you're more likely to be angry. March for something. March for something that you appreciate. March for something that you love. March for the kind of world that you want instead of this mess.
Don't be fucking saying this guy, mate. Theresa May is supporting the group that fucking supports universal credit that fucking kills to serve the people. Theresa May is a scumbag!
To approach this.
Theresa from the ground up, not from the top down. It's got to be from the ground up.
We're not going to try and be like
How much do you want for this? Huh? How much do you want for this?
Your life.
Oh, God. That's exactly what we're fighting for, so you're going to be angry. What's going on about not being angry? Keep the violence down. That's what we got.
Yeah, man, I'm trying to just keep everyone like thinking positive, you know?
What are your thoughts on the divide of the people that want to keep this a peaceful protest and the people who aren't happy with that?
I think the divide is what ruins every protest. You get those who want a peaceful protest and you get those who clearly just want to cause trouble. I mean, tonight we've seen not a lot of violence, but some rather vulgar behaviour, people spitting on cars. You know, there's no need for that. That's not protesting, that's just, you know, that's just wrong. There's certainly a divide, and I think that the anonymous movement is slowly crumbling right before us.
Fuck them all! Fuck them all! Fuck them all! Refuse! Resist!
Universal credit now. End it!
End universal credit!
End it now!
End it!
End it!
Good evening, everyone. This is a public service announcement from the Ministry. Please consider how your angry actions perpetuate an angry system, and consider how positive actions start giving birth to a positive system.
Working with kids shouldn't have to go to food banks. It's wrong. You know, and we shouldn't be selling weapons to people around the world. Yeah. You know, look at Saudi Arabia, look what's happening in Yemen, it's wrong. And where's the people say? Yeah?
Can I ask you one last question?
Of course you can.
What do you think about Israel?
I do not like Israel. I think Israel's a bully. The Holocaust happened a long time ago, right? They can't, you know, it's the same. Israel's a bully, and they're committing genocide.
Provide those solutions. It is we who have to manifest those solutions. It is we that have to live and model those solutions for others to see. As my good friend here said, you do not change things by attacking what is. You change things by providing a better alternative. Something that everyone can see is better, and they gravitate towards. Oh, I completely agree, and this is my own personal view, is that we're not going to find any meaningful change until this current system fails, until we see it fail. Why? Are you not a compassionate person? No, I mean in general, towards other people. Are you a compassionate person? Is that what you're arguing for? I'm not arguing for any one thing. My perspective is a very broad one, so I would, again, appreciate not attempting to pigeonhole me in any way, but compassion is one element of it. Yeah, compassion, just an understanding of our connectedness. In my opinion, one of the most insidious things that our system has done to us is make us believe that we are separate beings wandering around in a world of objects, which is ours to do with as we will, right? That to me is the most poisonous thing that has been implanted into our psyche, because that is not true. We are actually profoundly connected to each other, right? What do you mean by fight against it?
Well, in order to, have a path forward, as you're saying, you have a new vision. Do we just replace it with a new vision? Or do we also continue
If the existing system is not to fail cataclysmically and something new come out of the ashes of that, correctly to transition towards something different, I believe it has to happen at a grassroots. Many forming little cooperative communities, growing their own food, purifying their own water, generating their own energy, you know what I mean, at the local level. Localisation.
Everyone, we've got a right to protest! No shit, Sherlock!
Let's go!
So we're marching now, or what? Where are we going?
Power to the people! We're now descending to Buckingham Palace, where there's going to be a big line of horses and a lot of guards.
In 2016, multiple arrests were made outside Buckingham Palace. In this area, it was known as a hotspot for violence and police conflict.
My AV section, we're returning to the front of the Anarchic escorted to police by C section. If you can advise any legislation question, I'd be advised.
This year, however, was merely a walk in the park.
What did the dogs do?
Get Section 60 AA and the Criminal Justice and Public Order Act in effect. It is now unlawful to wear masks. That's against human rights, isn't it? Freedom of expression.
Do you have a flag? Yes, I do actually. Been with us?
For holding a flag. What about you? It's because it's not British.
Somebody's live stream! They're making a false arrest!
Yeah, AJ's been arrested.
Sorry?
The coppers don't appreciate Rick Ashley radio.
Someone with a white no rights like, oh, by the way,
I just want to know why you want to know.
because everyone's taking it place.
Sorry, just quickly, what law is it about the masks going on right now? It's now unlawful to wear them?
Section 60AA of the Criminal Justice Public Order Act 1984.
Right.
Section 60AA.
So I can't hear because there's a lot of people talking to us. If you come forward, I can talk to you. Other than that, I can't hear you.
Why are we not allowed to have a peaceful march?
Sorry, sir?
Why are we not allowed to have a peaceful march? What's the problem?
I think you can move off anywhere you want, sir.
This fella can't. This guy can't.
I can't tell you what he's been arrested for, can I? That's dead protection, unfortunately.
I made him away, not going to get arrested for something similar to.
Like I said, sir, I can't comment on an individual's arrest if he has got his rights. If I tell you what he's been arrested for, that would make me in the wrong place, wouldn't it?
So he's like the.
You would have shout from there and he tells you. That breaches human rights.
It's funny how you say it takes so many people to arrest one person. Is there nothing else you can be doing?
Well, as you can see, sir, we're actually only standing right now, we're engaging and talking to yourself, sir. That's all we are doing. Yes?
These aren't cool.
Criminal services, and you know it's right. Just like the fucking NHS. You lot are all out of job.
In the morning, when you behave like this, for medication purposes, I would advise that, sir.
Bill, come back, stop!
Have you got an opinion? Are you allowed an opinion, officer? No! No, you're not allowed an opinion, officer, because you've got a badge on! Are you allowed an opinion? Are you allowed an opinion?
They're not going to keep the wall anyway!
Force of brutality, I've got the GoPro on.
You've already seen them try and steal.
Record next time.
It's weird to think that 3 years ago, right here, there were thousands of people, thousands of them, all piling up to try and get in there. Hello. To get in there, and well, look at it now. There's no crowd. We're now in Leicester Square. This hasn't really happened before. This isn't really a spot they come through during the march, but well, it's been a very interesting night because it's been completely off course with the way it's always been. I don't think even the police know what's going on. I don't think the marchers even know what's going on. Oh, they're just chanting, "We want change, whose streets are streets," with no real context. Right, we're here in Leicester Square and now there's about 25 people. 25, 30, something like that. Everyone's descending in different ways. This happens every year. Guessing the night's coming to an end very soon. I've seen no TV productions here. Huh? I only saw one broadcast camera.
Yeah, I saw it too, but I'm not sure.
As the night comes to an end, I come to terms with the fact that the movement has ended. Anonymous have fallen.
So we've come to the end of the night. All roughly 150 people eventually dispersed through the Covent Garden area and then all split up into multiple small groups. All in all, a lot of the protesters were saying how much of a disappointment it was and how unorganised it was. A lot of the time the police were laughing about how unorganised it was. And honestly, I think the Anonymous movement may just be dead. And I don't think there's going to be a march next year.
There's something happening here. What it is ain't exactly clear. There's a man with a gun
Skyfall tonight is a legitimate time to register disapproval with the current parliamentary system.
I think it's time we stop. Children, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down.
I think the fences are becoming a visual emblem for the lack of true democracy.
There's battle lines being drawn. Nobody's right if everybody's wrong. Young people speaking their minds are getting so much resistance from behind. Time we stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down.
I think that Boris Johnson was elected to represent the people of London. It's pretty clear he represents the corporations of London, the city of London. 5 times as many meetings with bankers than he has ordinary Londoners. He's doing nothing for the Fire Brigade Union, he's doing nothing for the nurses, he's doing nothing for ordinary Londoners who can't get seats on houses.
Hooray for our side. It's time we stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. it will creep. It starts when you're always afraid. Step out of line, the man come and take you away. We better stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down.
For what it's worth, I think my personal view is we should have a loving, peaceful protest.
Thousands of unheard voices have resorted to this. If this is anarchy, it's certainly not the anarchy I remember.